Edward, good to see you. But as I was saying to you, you look transformed, you look a man relaxed. It's almost like you've taken the shackles off, but now you're inching back slowly again into that boardroom. What brought you back? Why did you say yes?
Well, I think in the spirit of Tumamina, we all can't sit on the side and criticize what's happening. At some point, we roll up our sleeves and we get involved. So I think it's in the interest of our love for South Africa and the interest of seeing, you know, every effort is made. And if you think about state-owned enterprise in particular, an organization like Transnet, it is so transformative, so enabling.
That's true.
If it works well. And so, yeah, we are there to help, as the minister himself has said, to recapture these state assets.
I was going to come back and refer to capturing and recapturing and stuff like that, but I wanted to know what the message was to you when the minister said to you, Edward, I would like your help. What was the mandate that you were given and the other members?
I think, first of all, if we start with the concerns that the minister has, but more broadly, the concerns that have been echoed by so many stakeholders. And even though some of the investigations and certainly the Zondo Commission on state capture will continue, I think there is enough evidence overwhelmingly suggesting that there are degrees of maladministration and corruption at the state-owned enterprise, and in this case in particular, Transnet. And when there is a failure of governance and evidence of maladministration, the board has to be held accountable and the executives have to be held accountable. And regardless of the degree of involvement of specific individuals, which the facts will lead to where they need to go, I think that it warranted the urgent intervention by the minister, and I fully support that. The focus, therefore, of the new board will be to work with what is immediately at hand, namely the workman's report and other related forensic reports that are already available. They have produced some very specific findings that warrants immediate action. We cannot sit and twiddle our fingers and sit and reflect on them. They need immediate action, and then to allow the investigations to continue. As a new board, clearly we have to understand the mandate of the shareholder, represented by the minister, but then act independently in the best interest of the company.
Right. Now, let's go to capture and recapture. Some cynics, you know, in the media we like asking questions and we like also, you know, throwing the ball back a little bit. So the minister speaks about recapturing state-owned enterprises. And some people read in it that what you're going to see potentially is that there's going to be an attempt to reverse some of the decisions that have been taken by those who have been put in charge of the state-owned assets, which in some cases were directed at the black business sector. And the suggestion then becomes, these guys who are coming to clean up are going to put them back to where they were before the malfeasance began. How do we clean up while at the same time ensuring that the mandate around transformation does not get destroyed?
I think very simple, Godfrey. Whether it is a black service provider, black-owned service provider, or any other service provider, if it can be shown that that contract was entered into in an unethical or an illegal way, then clearly we cannot stand back and say, oh, because it's a black business, we are going to have a different standard. In fact, we must hold ourselves to the highest possible standards of legality, of ethics, and constitutionality. And so it would be obviously unfortunate if some of those downstream of these contracts were to be impacted, but they were or would have been wittingly entering into contracts that was either compromised from the start because of the way it was procured, or the way it was priced. And so I don't think we can apply different standards.
Sure. I suppose also a large part of what you're going to do is to, I don't know whether you go back to the old systems, but certainly putting in place systems that are proper in terms of oversight, in terms of governance and those kind of things. And Transnet is a huge company. You have your work cut out. Have you guys already started?
And we will be, in the next week or so, there are several connections with each other and with the company. We are trying to find specific dates for our initial introduction or induction. But let me come back to, I don't think the mandate is go and throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Right.
The mandate is clearly, and then also if you look at a company, you cannot taint every single executive, you cannot taint every single employee.
Sure.
There are many, many men and women, I'm sure, that are honest, hardworking, that are doing good work. And part of what one needs to understand is how do you retain that which is good, but with indecent haste discontinue and discard that which has harmed the institution. And as I said earlier, that ultimately it is the mandate of the direction of the directors on the board to act independently in the best interest of the organization, and therefore there is no benefit to go in and to do a wholesale throwing out of everything that's going on, but a careful and independent assessment, the application of our mind, and do that which is best for the organization.